walking with friends. We have Sally. They are down. And so we're going for our own
banana cake.
The people buying the house were coming tomorrow. Lunchtime we got a phone call off the estate agent to ask if it was possible for them to come today instead. Me and the little finster got to A&E about midnight and we didn't get home until 6 this morning. We still haven't come to an agreement with the buyers over the furniture. Happy Saturday! Welcome to this week's vlog. Taking the Roxy Rooster out for a little walk as we begin this week. Hey Rurus! Good girl. Yes, it is not possible to walk them at the same time, unfortunately, because they set one another off. So I have to walk them separately. We're walking with friends. We have Sally. Hey. And we have Trixie and Luna. And we all know everybody loves dog content.
I was actually just thinking that it's nowhere near, but with the moisture in the air today and it's a little bit warmer, I was getting a Florida vibe.
Oh!
Yeah, just there's a bit of moisture in the air this morning.
Yeah, I'm not quite feeling it. We started here in like our winter coats, but yeah. We decided that as we go on holiday in 3 weeks, we needed to come out and go trainer shopping. That was the plan. And we made it to JD Sports.
It's all right.
And we tried on for size, but we didn't buy them. No. We decided instead to order them all online and get them cheaper.
With cashback.
With cashback, from Top Cashback. So we just needed to check sizes. Savvy shopping, that's what we like to call it. So we've done that, and then conveniently the ice skates were in the boot of my car. So you'll never guess where we've been for the last nearly 2 hours. Yes, that's right, we've been at the ice rink, and Mark and Finley have been ice skating while Jacob and I sat in the cafe and ordered the trainers.
Calf.
Or the cafe. The coffee house, actually, to say properly.
Cafe.
And that's where we've been. We are now going to head to Nando's for dinner.
I love Nando's.
And so we're going to get that done and dusted on the way home before we get back. And so that has been pretty much our Saturday. It's not really been anything towards moving to Florida, but it has been about sorting out new trainer shopping for our trip to Florida, which is now only in 3 weeks. How many times can I say that? Maybe we need to make that one this week. Shot words. Yeah, 3 weeks till we go on holiday. Did I say we're going to Florida in 3 weeks? We are in Nando's. It is a little bit like what I would call, if you remember Wolfgang Puck at Disney Springs, where it was kind of like a quick serve type thing, but they brought the food to your table. That now is obviously the Eat restaurant instead, and that operates in a very similar way. It's not quite table service, but it's not quite quick serve, and Nando's operates in a very similar way. And it is all based around peri-peri chicken. The boys like it, it's spicy food. So, quick whiz and show for the menu for any of our American friends out there that are not familiar with Nando's and are just interested.
Cheap.
So here is the menu. As I said, it's all very much around spicy chicken in various things. Whether that be on its own, in a salad, or in a burger, pizza or a wrap. But there we go. You can order at table on the app, or alternatively, over in this corner over here, there's a counter where you go up and order the food instead. We did it, but I remembered at the last minute. It's already been started, but you can at least see what it kind of looks like. So Jacob went for chicken with rice and fries. Finley got chicken with chips and, well, fries and corn. Marky got a wrap, chicken in a wrap with fries and corn. Also got this cheesy garlic bread thing, which was really good. Side of garlic bread, and then I got the chicken with the rainbow slaw. Everything comes with the skin on, so we just take it off. How is it, Jacob? Finley? Daddy? Yeah. Hello and happy Sunday. Today, the cases have come out the loft. Oh yes, they are down. No. And it is time to start thinking about and packing for our April trip, which is only in 3 weeks' time. So, let's get these bad boys open and have a look at what we will and won't need from last year's holiday that we could need this one. Right then, so as we've already established, this is kind of more of a bit of a resort type holiday. We're going to be going around and doing stuff tied up with the move. Let's start taking out some of this stuff we are not going to need. To leave this for today, because the next thing to work out is clothes, and that is a much bigger conversation. So this is almost like stage one. There's Disney t-shirts, there's Universal t-shirts, and obviously you can't wear one in the other park because that's just, you know, that's not a done thing. It just doesn't go with my feng shui. So we don't need to worry about so much of that. We don't have dedicated clothing for SeaWorld. Jacob already wears a load of, and Finn, of NASA t-shirts anyway, because they work at either. So clothing wise, I should be able to cull half of the stuff that we take, because I'm a bit overly pedantic about the clothes, which I'm going to have to get over. So let's get these zipped back up again, and we will come back to it later in the week. Today is Monday. Happy Monday. We have with us today the little Finley. He's on an inset day, so not a lot in the way of house moving stuff being done. But we are making some banana bread. A little superstar baker here who loves, what's one of your favourite TV programmes?
Is it cake?
Is it cake? And so we're going for our own
Banana cake. So we need 140 grams
That's it.
sugar.
Okay, you go for that then. Gently does it though, so you can keep watching those numbers tick up.
Oh.
How much flour do we need?
140 grams.
Alright then, off you go. This could be a really funny moment if all of a sudden all the flour flops out. So, how much do we need, Finn?
140 grams.
Okay, so we think that's just over half, don't we? So give that a whirl. Okay, go.
147.
Oh, we've got to take a bit off. Right then, let's get the knife.
Close.
Okay, let go of it. Oh! Whoa! High five with your buttery hands. Well done. How many eggs was it, Finn? 2! 2! Right then, you holding it? Right, pull it apart. Right, so
The shell comes out.
you crack it open like that, look. Uh-oh, here we go again. Are you ready?
Kind of.
Right. You do that one. So we've got our second egg in the bowl now and whisk it up together. So try and mix it all up. Hold on to the bowl so it doesn't go anywhere, but gently so it doesn't splash everywhere. That's it. Mix those 2 eggs all up together. Good job. Right, next bit. 2 ripe bananas into a bowl and mash them. Do we need some help? Alright, that's it. Smash it. Push down. That's it. Right then. So turn the dial to 2. There we go. Are we now light and fluffy, do you think? Still looks a bit hard to me. Does it to you?
Yeah.
So you've got to add a little bit at a time of egg and then a little bit of flour at a time.
1 egg and some bit.
So a little bit of egg gone in. Right, if I hold the flour, you just put a spoon of the flour in the hole there. That's it.
Is that it?
Yeah. Next instruction is a teaspoon of baking powder, the rest of the flour and the mashed banana. Ooh, 1. There we go, because that was a half spoon. So that's, if you add 2 halves, what do you get?
1 whole.
1 whole, that's it. That's your maths for the day. The rest of this flour in.
If we had that banana, it smells so nice.
Right, last one then, Finn. In with the banana. Lift that up and then push it down all the way. That's it. Turn the dial round to number 2. High 5. Good job. They smell good. Yeah. Right, we need to push the stuff down off the sides and get the stuff off the mixing thing a bit, and then give it one last mix. So there we go. We've got our mixture now.
Yeah.
Are you ready for a chemical reaction? Back to science.
How?
So we're going to put this like liquid kind of mixture here. Yeah.
Inside of there.
Inside of that cake tin there. Then we're going to put it in the oven, and when it comes out the oven, it's going to be solid.
So now we're going to put the cake mixture inside of the little pot thing you were doing.
Yeah. So there we go, look, falling in. Okay. Should we like spread it out a bit so it's like nice and even? That's what we've got, folks. Finley, what have we got to do now?
We're going to put this banana cake liquid thing inside of the oven, and then it will take around about 15 minutes. So while Mummy's picking Jacob up, by the time she gets back, we'll be able to have an actual banana cake.
We will. And how hot has the oven got to be? Can you remember?
160.
160. Right, if you pick that loaf tin up, but don't drop it.
I will.
And put it on the baking tray. And then I'll lift it in the oven to keep you safe. Because we don't want you to burn your fingers, do we?
Nope.
Right then. There we go. Oh, no. Excuse the state of my oven. I'm not very good when it comes to things like that. But for whoever is buying this house, if you happen to watch this video, I'll make sure it's clean before you move in. I'm back from school run, and guess what? It's ready! Alert! Banana bread is ready. Somebody is very excited. Finley, how was your hard work?
Good.
Is it good? Is it nice that it's a bit warm?
Yeah.
Has it got a nice crispy top?
Uh-huh.
Is it the best banana bread ever?
I think we have had better banana bread than this, but it is good.
Winner. Bestest inset day ever. Not only did I get a day with Finster, we got banana bread too. And every day is a school day because it meant Finn did a bit of science, a bit of maths, and a bit of DT baking. Winning. Not bad. Hey everyone, and happy Wednesday. Yes, apologies, there's not been a lot going on this week. It's basically been a work week. We've been focused so much on all the other things that we've been doing that it's time to play catch up.
And let's face it, we've all got a day job to do. And I've been so engrossed in SEO. That's my week really. Marky's also been beavering away. But we have got a couple of little teeny tiny updates. So, first one regards to the house. You will have seen obviously everything about the fact that we have somebody that likes it, they've put their offer in, we've accepted the offer, we've done things like the memorandum of sale and sort of stuff, that's what we're working on. But they're coming back for a second viewing tomorrow. Not because they're not interested in the house, but more because they've expressed an interest in some of the furniture, which I may or may not have mentioned earlier in the week. Can't quite remember. But yes, they've expressed an interest in some of the furniture. Mark was waiting to speak to the people from a shipping company to find out if it made much of a difference. And in all honesty, it doesn't make massive amount of difference. It might save a couple of grand, but in the grand scheme of how much it costs to ship everything, it's not a lot. So if we have to take it all, we can take it all and it's not a problem. But obviously it just depends on what stuff they're interested in and what they're willing to pay, because obviously we've got to replace it when we get there. Some of it might be more convenient to replace, things like the beds for example, because obviously we're going to need something to sleep on when we get there. And shipping is still going to take 9 weeks-ish, was what they estimated. So what we're going to do without beds for 9 weeks? Exactly. So some of it may make sense to kind of try and negotiate a price on if they're prepared to, but we're obviously just not going to let it go for nothing. So yes, so they are coming round tomorrow, which will be Thursday at 12:30. So we'll let you know how that discussion goes. Otherwise, Mark had an email from the lawyers, didn't you? Mark will come on board to give you that little update when he is ready, because in the working from home world, you don't always have to get yourself looking camera ready.
You don't have to.
I mean, today, as you can see, I have actually done and straightened my hair. So yeah, probably look a little bit better than normal in my usual working from home get up. But yeah, that's where we are so far. Oh, no further forward with the holiday packing either. We had a bit of a go at that on Sunday. But because they're coming to have a look around the house again, I didn't want to go massively into that because I can't really be doing with having mess everywhere whilst they're coming. So after Thursday, it is full on with the holiday packing. Other update, we've been liaising with our realtor. We've been liaising with our realtor in Flowrider about a couple of houses that have potentially come for rent. See if we can add those to our list to look at. And very sadly, the one thing I've come to learn about Zillow is that it is not always accurate. So you may recall me talking about previously about some new build homes being built by the home builder we like. Well, it turns out they are not in the location that it said on Zillow. In fact, they're probably about 20 minutes south and on the wrong side of the road that we want to be on, and totally out of the school zones for the schools that we're looking at. So they now go completely out the window as being somewhere we are no longer considering. Don't always rely on the Zillow map for accurate information. Hence the reason why the realtor knows the schools that we're focusing on, the areas that we're focusing on, and they are going to find us the houses to look at. So yeah, just something to be aware of if you're looking around. Don't always believe what's on the Zillow map as to where these places are located. Get yourself on Google Maps, get the road name and have a look, and then you may find that it's not quite what it says. Anyways, that's where we're at so far, but Marky will be back shortly with his little updatey thing on the visa. Hello, and so it is now much later in the day. I'm still in the same place though. But a very random thing happened. So I was telling you earlier about how the people buying the house were coming tomorrow. Well, literally lunchtime we got a phone call off the estate agent to ask if it was possible for them to come today instead. So literally we down tools, abandoned everything, to get around the house and just have another little tidy up, because you know what family life's like. Kids get stuff out, it never gets put away, beds weren't made, there were still dirty socks on the floor of the kids' rooms, dishwasher needed unloading and reloading and all of that joyful family stuff. So yeah, we had to kind of abandon work and go and do that. And they came around at 4 o'clock today, so straight after school run. I took the little doggies for a walk out the way, and Mark took them round again. They went through the list of things, and pretty much they want about 70%, maybe even 75% of the things that were on the list. So we've given them a number, well, we've given them two numbers. A number including our bed and a number excluding our bed, because it was a very expensive bed. So we'll wait for their feedback. But we did say to them, you know, they may not be happy with that number, and if they're not happy with those numbers, then that's fine, we'll just take it all. We'll see where that goes. But yeah, that's Wednesday, which now means I've got all of tomorrow free for editing vlogs, because that's what I need to do, because I've not done any yet and I've got a lot to do. We will get through it all together. See you in a bit. Hello everyone, and happy Thursday. I'm going to take this kind of bit of a ethereal glow from the window, as I am so tired. Last night did not go to plan, so you have still not yet seen Mark's update on the visa, and this is because the poor little Finster ended up not being very well. He ended up coming home from school feeling lightheaded, he got a headache, and he ended up being sick all evening. And because he bumped his head at football training on Monday, when we called 111, they packed us off to A&E just in case it was a concussion. So yeah, me and the little Finster got to A&E about midnight, and we didn't get home until 6 this morning. So very, very, very tired. Good news, however, is that he seems to be much better this morning. The headache's kind of gone away. But on the basis that he was literally being sick with everything, we were unable to get him to keep Calpol or water down, so any lingering headache could be a bit of dehydration. But they gave him some anti-sickness, so he can now drink and take the Calpol. So hopefully we're going to be on a very swift road to recovery. So I do promise you are going to get Mark's update today. And in terms of our visit from the house buyers, they came round yesterday, all that went well, and we sent them over a price for the things that they said they wanted. So we sent that to the estate agent, and the estate agent has sent that to them this morning. We don't have any feedback yet, so we will keep waiting. Maybe when Mark talks to you later, we'll know a little bit more on that. Other than that, my sister sent me a TikTok link yesterday to a family that have recently moved over. They moved over literally a couple of weeks ago. For the life of me, I can't remember the handle now. I can't think of... shut it down. Yeah, shut it down. It's a Dream Florida Life. Oh, Our Dream Florida Life. Living a Dream Florida Life. Anyway, they're on TikTok. They're a family of 7 who've just recently moved out there, but they've got 3 miniature Dachshunds as well. So we were just watching that. I was just watching that on TikTok. So fab to find yet another family from the UK with exactly the same thought processes as us as to why they've emigrated to Florida. So yeah, this is Thursday so far. I am currently working on vlogs. That's what I'm trying to do. I just keep getting distracted, and my concentration is terrible because I'm tired. So I'm going to keep plugging away at it, but we'll be back with you in a bit.
Bit of an update on paperwork and lawyers and MVCing and all the other stuff that we have to keep doing with all these various bits and pieces of paperwork. Were sent like mock MVC forms to fill in. I've had a look at the actual MVC form, and what I was asked to fill in was exactly the same, just like the lawyer's version. So what essentially what the lawyer is doing now is they've got my filled in versions. They now sense check it, make sure everything is correct from a what it needs to be perspective. Obviously they don't know all of our details, so they've got to rely on me populating that properly. But it's about them checking that everything that should be there is correct and making sure that I haven't ticked something incorrectly and blah blah blah. So they asked for 5 working days to go through those and just check all of the other sort of legal documentation. So we've had to send things like passports, or electronic versions of passports. We've had to send birth certificates. They asked for acros. So I was under the impression that we didn't need acros until we went for the interview at the embassy. In fact, I think you might have needed them for the medical. I think you have to demonstrate that you've got them when you go to the medical, but it turns out that you need them for the MVC processing as well. So we've done those now, thankfully. Neither of us are criminals, which is a good start. We requested all of those. The acros, which are the Criminal Records Office, they basically send you a certificate that says you are a criminal, you're not a criminal, you've got a criminal record, you haven't got a criminal record, whatever that happens to be. You can apply for them online, reasonably straightforward. It's 65 quid each if you do it on a standard processing, which can take up to 20 working days. It's £115 each if you want it premium, which I wanted to make sure that we didn't have any delays on getting the MVC stuff done. So it's 115 quid each. Only myself and Sam have to do them because it's only for people over the age of 16. So if you have got kids that are 16 or older, you'll need them for them as well. Passport photos they wanted physical copies of. So I had to get a DHL Express booked. It cost me 35 quid to send a letter, which was no A5, hardboard with 4 photos in there and a note saying please find photos attached, which was picked up on Monday of this week, which would have been the 24th. So the photos are picked up on the 24th. They arrived there yesterday, being the 26th. So I put them on like an express shipping, which is why it was 35 quid. They've got them now. I'm expecting to get the MVC paperwork, to get the DS260s back from the lawyers tomorrow, possibly Monday now. Which will have been, I've populated everything, they've now sense checked everything, they will just confirm that they've got everything they need. If there's anything they're unsure of, anything that doesn't quite look right, they'll highlight it at this stage. Assuming all is good, I can go back and say, yeah, press go, and they will then essentially transfer all of that data into the actual MVC forms on the SIAC website. They submit it, and on last check on the MVC timeframes website, I think we were looking at about a week-ish, a week to 10 days at the most. So if they can get them submitted next week, we should be looking at week commencing the 7th of April. We should get assuming everything's okay, we should get the document qualification approval back, and from that point then, I believe it then gets sent to the London Embassy. I'll confirm it once it all happens, I'll let you guys know. So that's a little update from me.
Hello and happy Friday. Just realised I've not vlogged anything today so far. This is not good, is it? It's been one of those days, really. I've just been getting vlog ready. So that's been task 1. But also we've got a little Pooley Finster. He's not feeling the greatest. And so we're having a little snuggle in bed because he's super tired. I'm trying to think where we left you yesterday. I think Marky did a little bit of a round up on where things are with the visa. The only other thing to kind of round up the week on really is the fact that we still haven't come to an agreement with the buyers over the furniture. They came back to say that it was a bit higher than they wanted to pay for second-hand furniture, which is fine and fair enough. Got no issues with that, none whatsoever. But obviously for us, we need to get enough for it all to warrant being able to replace it. So we've kind of gone back with a counter offer of like our lowest that we're prepared to take. Otherwise we're just going to take it all and we're just going to stick with the shipping as it was. So they've asked for a few days to think about it, which we've said yes. So we'll see what happens with that. We still haven't received the populated forms from the lawyers. They did say they were going to try and get those to us by the end of the week. We've not had them yet. So that may now roll into early in the week, unless obviously they are 4 hours behind in the States. So there's still a chance it could come through this evening, but maybe not. Who knows? All in all, it's been another amazing week. Really, lots of positive things going on, definite steps forward, if not as bigger ones as we had last week. But even so, we're still marching on, getting that little bit closer to being in the place we want to call home.
So we're just discussing
Food.
first dinner when we get to Florida.
Salt Shack on the lake!
You got to say it again.
I didn't say it this time.
Salt Shack on the lake.
Sure. I didn't say it.
Where do you want to go, Jacob?
Salt shack on the lake. It suits.
I'm not being held responsible for how many times they have said Salt Shack in this video.
I've not said
Salt
Salt Shack.
shack.
In fact, Salt Shack itself is probably like, will you stop talking about us? Because we can't accommodate all these people that now want to come.
Apologies, I completely just fell asleep with Finn last night, so I never did get to wrap the vlog up, did I, or the week, or even tell you what ended up happening last night. So, look at that though. Oh, cold sores. Mark did get an email back from the lawyers last night, and sadly, they had everything ready, prepared to upload, but the MVC website went down. So, and it was down the whole day. So they're now running behind because they weren't able to upload everything like they wanted to. So that is going to have to wait now until next week. But nothing we can do about that really. That's just one of those things. The other thing that we weren't 100% sure about was when we entered with the brown envelopes about how quickly he could or couldn't leave, whether we needed to wait until we got the little card, the green card bit. And they actually turned around and said that you aren't able to actually apply for the actual card until you've been and got a social security number. So in theory, that can take, obviously, as soon as you get there, you go get your social security number to be able to submit the application to get the actual card. But they said the stamp that's in your passport actually acts as a temporary green card. So like literally we could go in one day all together, maybe for argument's sake, and then Mark could fly back to get the dogs, whether it be the day after, a week after, 2 weeks after, before he's got the card, and still come back, get the dogs, and then fly out again. So that's going to help us massively to know how flexible we can and can't be with when we do fly into relation with how we get the dogs, basically. So there you go. That's a bit of information for you. But yeah, so that all came through last night. Obviously, I'm telling you this Saturday morning, but technically I'm including it in this vlog because it was all pertinent to what we were talking about last night, and I never got to close the vlog out. So this then is the end of this week's vlog. So thank you very much if you've watched it all the way through. Yeah, it's been another week of just intense stuff going on. And we're gonna have to wait and see what kind of happens this week coming, really. Primary focus is definitely getting stuff prepared and packed for the holiday, so that is something that I'm going to be working on over the weekend primarily. Obviously, once the lawyers have submitted the forms on the MVC website, we'll be able to go and just have a quick check through them and make sure that everything is all good and we're happy with that. Yeah, I think that really is kind of where we're at for next week for the time being. More fun to come as usual. So thank you very much again for watching. If you've got any questions about anything that's come up this week, please drop us a comment below. If you've enjoyed watching this vlog and you're not already subscribed, then yep, you go onto the channel and hit that subscribe button. That way then you can, you know, follow along the rest of the journey. Again, if you've enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. Very much appreciated. Also helps to let YouTube know that, you know, this content is relevant to people, and so it might get pushed out to somebody that's looking for this kind of stuff. Other than that, again, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next week. Bye for now.